In your review of Sam Arkoff's book, Flying Through Hollywood by the Seat of My Pants, you quote his desire to actually create a new market, create essentially a teenage market for movies.
Well, yes, exactly. And anybody like yourself and I, George, who's drilled down into Elvis Presley's history in the 50s and the emerging rock and roll scene in the mid to late 50s, we've read many times about the teenager, how the teenager began to enter the workforce and part-time jobs, and they had disposable income. They were becoming upwardly mobile, and they were spending their money. And business types, ad executives, they began to understand this, and we saw a bit of a shift in aiming things towards the teenager. They were going to spend their dollars, and this is maybe where, if you were to study, demographics, the history of demographics, different age groups, and how they spent their money, what they went to the theater to see. What music they spent their money on. This is all a part of that. And Arkoff was savvy enough that he came up with the idea of making films specifically aimed at a demographic that he thought maybe the big studios had neglected somewhat, which was the teenager. And through the 50s and into the 60s, I mean, to think about films that would draw teenagers in, well, I feel like it starts and in the middle and it ends with American International. The films they made were just perfect for the kids because production value is not so hot. So again, he knew what not to spend money on. Don't mess with this. Don't mess with that. Spend the money wisely and pop, pop, pop. Give the kids what they want, whether it's hot rods or girls or delinquency, whatever. So they definitely tapped into that demographic, the teenager in the mid to late 50s.
And he had very little or no tolerance at all for troublesome stars and big budgets, really, did he?
No, no, he didn't. And like I say, I think he's quoted in his book as talking about what you spend the money on is so important, and a big name simply was not important to him.